Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning back in. Glad you can make it. Those of you who are new, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. It's no secret that women are broken today. Look around you. Most of what we see are women with cotton candy colored hair, bull rings, lip rings, tattoos everywhere, an adversarial attitude, a superiority complex, simply just because they're women. Eating everything in sight, to include Chad's dick, demanding the world, yet so unwilling to give even the slightest thing back. Hey, can I help you? You're taking too much airtime. Shoot. I'm the star of this show. Yeah, that's right. Get going. Get out of here. So, how do we get here? And that's a good question. There's a lot of pieces to this answer in order to be able to fix the problem. Let's break it down. Women's suffrage started before the 1900s. The first woman voted into office was in Argonia, Kansas in 1887. Though a joke, she did win by taking 2/3 vote. Women were also having debates on their role within society. Earlier in the channel's history, I led you guys to an article called The New Woman, written by Maria Louise Ramey, pen name Ouida. And then I corrected myself and led you guys to an article, The New Aspect of the Woman Question, written by Sarah Grand. I had it right the first time, but I am correcting myself here, so look at that article. I blame the puppers. She came to me with this information, that's why she got kicked off the video. And in this article, she exactly describes this new woman, the woman that we see today, placing herself on a pedestal, seeing men as dumb, incompetent, inferior, controlling, toxic, all of the terms that we hear today in mainstream media. And that's what we don't hear. You trying to get some airtime in? I give you everything. And now you want to take some airtime from me? You can't even defend the house. So why would I give you airtime? Think about it. Anyways, that's what we don't hear. We don't hear about the anti-suffragists. We only hear about the suffragists. And even a lot of what the suffragists did, we don't hear about anyways. We don't hear about the bombs that they left at cathedrals. We don't hear about the damage that they caused for the local business owners, smashing their windows, mailboxes, threatening politicians with burning their homes down. But we don't hear about that. What we do hear about is that these women were arrested, they were mistreated, simply because they were just marching. Yeah, I don't believe that bullshit. But this was pressure. This was pressure that they placed on the politicians. And eventually, they caved. They got what they wanted, which wasn't the majority of the women. They got the right to vote. They got to be able to go out and work, which led into the next waves of feminism. It wasn't any longer focused on choosing between a career and a family, the public life and the private life. Now it's moved on to sexual liberation, that the women chose the men that they wanted to procreate with. Understandable. But this was pushed way too far. At a point in time, it crossed the boundary of choosing who you wanted to procreate with for life and just who you wanted to procreate with for the night. It led us into hookup culture. And because of hookup culture, we now have the Plan B pill, the birth control pill. Oh, so now you're leaving? You were up here like 10 minutes, dude. Okay. She got all the attention she wanted. Now she's gone. What a lot of people also don't know is that, what? Now you want back up here? You just got down. Girl, would you make up your mind? Well, you can sit there for 5 years and think about it. Oh. Pathetic. I should have got a cat. Fucking mutt. What a lot of people don't know is that the Plan B pill, the birth control pill, was pushed by a woman named Margaret Sanger, who not only was she a very prominent feminist, but she was also a eugenicist. Do with that information what you will. This has led to all kinds of problems. And with mainstream media pushing women to act like men, it's no wonder why women are broken today. The average woman is pretty much forced to work because as soon as they entered the workforce, they became taxable. And guess what? That meant more money for the government. So instead of that money going to the family so that the woman is provided for, now she has to go out and work for herself to provide for herself, which women don't want to do today. So the choice of family or career, the push for sexual empowerment, the impacts of hookup culture, social media encouraging women to act like men, and then social media didn't really help things out either. Look around you. Women are addicted to their phones. They're constantly on it, scrolling through social media, being poisoned by these messages that is disguised as helpful information, but destroys them in the long run. All of these pieces come together to answer how we got here. And so how do we fix this problem? It took us decades to get here. And listen, it's going to take us twice as long to get back to the way things were. The first step is that we take this conversation into the public sphere, where everybody's talking about it. The mainstream media is just barely scratching the real issues that people are facing today, and that's to include the reason why women are broken. So we do everything we can to push this message forward. Make sure that everybody hears us, because when everyone hears us, at that point, we can start to coming to solutions there. But just as I've said in my other videos, men have to change first. And listen, boys, we can't be on OnlyFans. We can't be on adult entertainment. I struggle with some of this stuff. Not the OnlyFans, but the adult entertainment for sure. So we have to change ourselves. When we set the example, women follow. So if we stop giving attention to the OnlyFans, if we stop with the adult entertainment, if we stop letting our dick run our lives, at that point, the women will change. Another thing too, put pressure on our politicians. Go out, go protest, make your voices heard. The only way that these politicians are going to focus on interests for the average person, the average man and the average woman, is if we put pressure on them to do that, because they're only doing it for big corporations, which is also another piece to why we got here. So that's something that we can do to fix this problem. Shame must come back. Shame has always been a part of society. Why? Because it's kept people in line. These women that are scantily clothed all the time, always showing as much skin as possible without being arrested for exposure. We should bring women back to morality. We should bring women back to modesty. Okay? Cover that up, man. Cover that up. Nobody wants to see that except the simps, and those are the lowest of society anyways. I see this way too often. Girls wearing very tight leggings, girls wearing skirts way too short, and their ass cheeks are falling out. Wearing tight shirts with no bra on. That's disgusting. And we as a society, we need to treat it this way. We wouldn't be doing the same if a guy had some tight shorts on. So why are we doing for women? We need to make a change. Laws need to change. We need to bring back shame. We need to incentivize women to do the right things. We need to teach women to be good prospects for wives and mothers. Unfortunately, because the husband is kicked out of the home because of laws, because of biases in the court, because of the social pressures against men, women don't have a healthy environment to grow up in. The only thing that they have is a toxic mother that only knows an unhealthy environment, and she only takes that information and lives by it. So we have to incentivize healthy families. This is how we fix the issues. We need to put pressure on our politicians to change these laws. We need to boycott some of these big corporations who are actively going against our own interests. We need to put pressure on women to come back to modesty, to have some morality. We also need to incentivize them to do the right things. We need to encourage them to love men, not to hate them. And we also have to encourage women to appreciate the average man, not see them as invisible. We need to get rid of this materialistic, this hedonistic tendency that women have today. So, guys, if this video helped you out, please support the channel and like and subscribe. I want to try and get this information out to as many people as possible, but especially men. I want to change this culture. And if you guys want to help me change this culture, like, share, and subscribe. I would love for you guys to join me in changing this culture. You're just going to groom yourself while I'm filming here? Okay. But now we're seeing this country go in the same direction as the UK. We're actively watching the fall of the UK right now, and I don't want it to get to that point here. So help me reverse the course so that we can get back to normalcy. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you took away something from this video that you can learn and apply into your own lives. As always, make sure you take care of yourselves, both mind and body. Take care of each other. If someone's having a rough day in the comment section, reach out to them. Lift them up. It's the whole point of the channel. I don't have this all figured out, guys, but that's why we're here, to figure it out together. And I'll talk to you soon.